Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I'm having another conversation today with a graduate student of Creatrix Academy. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you to meet this woman, Vanessa Williams. She is a powerhouse. We were just talking about her fire feeding other people, and it's so true. Vanessa, you were just so instrumental to the class, and you killed it, love. You absolutely killed it. And I'm so proud of you. Would you mind sharing with us a little bit about what it is that you do?
Yeah, so I am a woman's heart and body intimacy coach. So I also, my biggest passion and purpose is to really teach women about feminine energy and how their heart is the core of who they are. It's where their radiance lies. And when a woman is turned on, her radiance is just the super attractor on this planet, and she can attract the life of her dreams, the man of her dreams, opportunities, all of it. She becomes this super magnetic force on this planet, and it's called her feminine energy. So I help women reconnect with their feminine energy. I help them awaken their feminine power and just fall madly and deeply in love with themselves.
It was so beautiful to watch you claim that, and just hearing you express that, dear, is like, wow, so well said. So tell us what you created inside of Creatrix Academy. What launch did you create?
Okay, so my launch was 30 grand. And that was with a group of 9 women total.
Yeah.
And yes. It was 30 grand, and it's like, it's a big fucking number. It's a big number. But I did it, and it's crazy. It's crazy. At first it was a little unbelievable, but now I'm just like sitting in it, and every month I get a nice fat, income. And I'm just like, this is awesome. This is the best way to be able to live, working from anywhere and having money coming in.
So good, sweetheart. You did the thing. Tell
Mm.
us a little bit about where you were before Creatrix Academy. Had you done a launch before like this?
No, I had never done a launch like this before. I was actually, I was coming, where I was I knew something had to shift for me. I knew something was going on with what I was doing before. I'm a Pilates instructor and a yoga instructor and a movement therapist, and I was working one-on-one with clients, but it wasn't feeding my soul anymore. So I could feel that I'm very in tune with my soul, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not as fulfilled as I used to be. So I started to feel that. And then Jen, she's the one who referred me to you, was a part of your previous academy, and she was like, Vanessa, you have to just check out Jolie. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it, because I knew something needed to change, and I knew that I wanted to shift what I was doing to more intimate work, more passion-filled work. So I signed up with you for that 5-week course. And then we had our call, and it was just like, it's time. My soul was ready for the next level. My soul was ready to be like upgraded. My soul was ready to be like fulfilled. And I was in a perfect spot, because it was just like, I needed someone like you to hold the vision for me, to tell me, Vanessa, you can fucking do this. It's a one-to-many business model. Like, you're gonna hold a container for 10, 15 women, and you're gonna charge a nice pretty penny for them, and you can do this. And you helped me through that, so now I'm on the other side, and I'm just like, I'm so empowered, and I'm just like, I can't believe I made this come true. And I did. And I was ready for you, Jolie. I was so ready for you.
Was it scary making the investment?
Was it scary? That's so funny. It was very scary to make this investment. You remember, I'm sure you remember our call in Jamaica. I was on vacation, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to need a little time to think about this. Yeah, the price made me like, it like really, it brought me down out of the clouds, where I was like, oh my God, this is great. And it brought me onto earth, where I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this. That was my first thought. Like, there's no way. And then with time, the fear started to subside, and there was this affirmation that started to come through from my heart, and it started to repeat in my mind like a song that you can't get out of your head. And it was, I can do this. I can do this. You can do this. You can do this. And it was like, I get chills, because it was like, those words just started to replay over and over and over and over within me. And it just started to dissolve all the fears I had. And throughout the whole launch, that's what I told myself. That was always in the back of my head. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. And look, I fucking did it. I 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 did it.
You're so adorable. I love you so much. That's the way I felt when I had my first 5-figure launch. I was like, oh my gosh, my life is about to work in a different way. My service is about to be expressed in a different way. And what do you feel now in your body having created a $30,000 launch, your first ever launch? Like, what's now possible for you, Vanessa?
I'm filled with goosebumps, Julie. There's like no words. It's just like, it's a feeling. I know you know this feeling. It's a feeling of, oh, source being fully expressed inside my body. It's big. It's big. It's big. It's spirit. I feel a direct connection with spirit, with source, with the universe. And I feel I have woken up to the goddess within me, the divine within me. Like I have woken up to that power. Mm-hmm. There's no amount of money this is priceless. This is priceless. This feeling, this is priceless. It's priceless.
What is next for you, sweetheart? Like, you had your first ever 30K launch, moved from being a Pilates instructor and working with women to having a full sold out course. Now what's next? What's your next launch?
What's next for me? My next launch, planning on launching in November. My goal is 75K. Yes, I'm gonna more than double it. I'm looking for 15 women. I already have 15 women. I already know that. And my goal is 75 grand. That's my next launch. And it's gonna be 4 months, same as this one. And yeah, and I can already feel it. I feel it within me. I feel the women. I feel the testimonials that are coming out of my current group. I feel the referrals coming. I just feel it. And as the wind blows with me, to just, yeah, 75 grand. That's my next launch.
I'm so happy for you, dear. And how do you feel? Like, what's the vibration that you feel going into your next launch?
The vibration I feel about going into my next launch, I feel it's already done. It's like I trust so much. I have this deep, deep knowing inside of me that it's done, because this is what I'm meant to do. This medicine that channels through me needs to be shared. And this is something that I have no control over. It's like up to this. And I know that I am part of God's plan, right? I am part of awakening, the next awakening, the awakening that's going on right now. I am part of helping women return to the heart of their soul. That's the vibration, knowing that it's done, and I'm so supported. So supported.
Yes, dear. So what was it about the process of Creatrix Academy that supported you in having your first $30,000 launch? Can you think about like the process, the modules, the teaching, like what made the difference for you?
Okay, so what made the biggest difference for me in the academy was just everything, Jolie, because I was not a businesswoman before. I had no idea about online presence. I had never marketed myself. I didn't have a following online at all. I didn't have any sales experience other than the passion that is already instilled in me. And what I learned was sales is passion. So that came super easy for me. But behind the scenes, I didn't know anything. And I remember the first week we started, I was so scared. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so much work. And it was work. But it wasn't something that couldn't be done, Does it take every bit of your heart and soul? Yeah, it does. It takes every bit of your heart and soul, but it's so, and it tests, not even tests you, but it strengthens you. It makes you like, you got to rise, you fall, you rise, you fall, you rise. You got to keep going, keep rising, keep rising, keep rising, picking yourself off the floor. Every module, Jolie, everything, because I literally came in as a beginner, as a newbie. I had no idea. I never had sales experience. No, I never worked with a business coach before. You were my first. I had never even talked to a business coach before, other than my partner, which has always been in sales and business and runs his own business. But I had never worked with a coach before. So I was brand spanking new. Um, and and every module, it was beautifully laid out, from beginning to end, and you simplified everything so beautifully. And I would say my favorite part was definitely like the slow sales process. That is like gold, girlfriend. Gold, gold, gold.
Oh dear, I just hearing you speak just it makes me realize why I do the work that I do. That there are so many women out there that would say like, but I don't have an audience, but like I don't have the business training, but that doesn't matter. That all can be learned. Nobody had an audience when they started. I remind you ladies all the time. I'm like, I had just come out of San Diego State professionally partying as my lifestyle. Like I didn't have people that looked up to me and respected me in any way. Everyone starts from ground zero. Everyone builds their audience, and you happen to do it with your whole heart and soul, which is why you busted out a 30K launch, because these 9 women believed in something that you were creating for them. They believed in a vision, and you just did this so eloquently and so beautifully. And you just make me feel that power of the human will and that power of human strength, that anybody can do anything they set their minds to. This is the absolute principle of this reality. You can create anything, and you exercise that so beautifully. You had opportunities just popping up around you because you were in alignment with that. You had somebody that introduced you to a bunch of people. You had really great luck. You had blessings because you were generating that, because you had that mantra in the back of your head, I can do this, I can do this. So it's just, anytime anybody gives me an excuse, I'm going to have them watch this exact recording. I'm like,
For real.
just so you know, you can actually do it no matter what your external circumstances.
You can do it all, and that's, you can do it all. You can do it all. There, the only blockages you have are the blockages you create yourself, that stem from fear and your own judgment and your own criticism and your own shame. So if you get to the root of that, and you also take this journey as a soul awakening journey, because it's also what it is. And I feel like I was ready for this because I had done the hard work already, because I was so much grounded in my foundation, where I was, it's just like I was ready for this. This was naturally the next step for me,
Yes.
but it's
Yes.
definitely a soul awakening too. Like you got all that shame, that judgment, the belief or the lack of belief you have inside of you comes up in this journey. So it's not only a business creation, but it's also like, man, heart and soul. Like, where are you? How much do you believe in yourself? How much do you believe in what's around you?
Thank you for saying that, dear. Was there anything in particular that you enjoyed about me as a facilitator in Creatrix Academy?
Yes. So what I enjoyed about you, Jolie, was your energy and how like feminine you are through this whole process. You made everything so beautifully easy, soft, flowy, and you were a beautiful example of what it is to fucking be a boss babe, be feminine, and not lose your femininity in business. Like that for me is so important, because the work I've done the last 4 years has helped me heal my feminine heart and help me express my feminine heart. There's a train, sorry.
It's all right.
Can you hear me still? I can mute it for a second.
You're good. Yeah, you can mute yourself and let the train go by. And I'll just riff on the femininity in business, because it's so true. It's it is the conversation that we've been indoctrinated in around business, is that you give up everything that you love about your life. You struggle, you push. And like, don't get me wrong, you and I both know this for sure. It takes an extraordinary amount of effort to get something off the ground. But we always say this in the class. It's like, what else is there? What are our other options? Like, no matter what, we have to work in this reality and produce money. I mean, of course, there's other options to that, but no matter what, we have to be generative. And so to be generative for something that we love and embrace the emotional and be aware that I'm in the middle of a spiritual initiation. Yes, I'm working on a business launch, but I am coming up against all of my beliefs, my self-confidence, my self-worth. And so this is a personal development course like nothing you've ever done in your life before, because it will put you on the court in life, processing rejection, processing fear, processing celebrations like you've never felt before. Like the roller coaster is so real. I mean, for your first time, it's like you're processing these things for your first time. So thank you for seeing the femininity in me, because that's something that I'm not willing to give up. That is so core to my nature. And I want space. I want to enjoy my life. Like work at the end of the day, no matter how much we love it, is work. And so we need to build in the space for ourselves, because no one else will do that for us. The train's still going. I'll keep ripping on femininity in business. Yeah, I think that in the beginning too, I felt like there wasn't a space for me to be feminine. I felt like I had to emulate the masculine, and that's not what the awakening of divine feminine is. You and I can both agree that the feminine heart is needed on the planet. We need women to be women now more than ever. We need the nurturer. We need the spaciousness. That vibration alone is going to make the difference on the planet.
Yeah, I agree. I'm back now. I want to add to that, can I?
Yes.
Yeah, so something else that I love about Jolie is her just every time I heard you speak, in the moments where I was like losing my connection to my why, you had such an eloquent way of reconnecting us to our why and reminding me of spirit, reminding me that this is not just for me, this is spirit, this is like what you're on this planet to do. What are you on this planet to do? And when you start looking at it in that way, it's just like, oh my God, this is not about me. This is about something so much greater. And, you know, during the times that I would have those days where I felt like, oh my God, because I had those days. It's a lot. Why am I doing this? Like, you know, everything that happened during the 4 months for me, you know, there was a lot going on for me. But every time I heard you speak, it was like, I got off the call and I was like, hallelujah, I'm back. Thank you, Jolie. And you had such an amazing way of reminding me why I'm doing this. And that it's okay to have an off day. It's okay. And I loved how you always told us, honor yourselves. Honor it. Honor it. It's okay. You need to take a day off. It's okay. Take a day off, rest. You were always just very, you were just like filled with grace and love and just gentle and a beautiful expression of the feminine as a nurturer. And I love that. And that helped me a lot.
Thank you, Vanessa. What was also happening with your class was extraordinary external circumstances, because y'all went right into launching when the coronavirus was first going down. Pandemic, talk of recession was first going down. And no matter what, you stayed focused. You kept your eye on the prize. You had your $30,000 launch. You went for it, girl. And it's just so beautiful to see you here creating your own reality. And that's what I see in you, which reminds me of me, is like, I was not going to let anything outside of me stop me. I saw that life was too short. I had too much power in me, and I wanted it more than anything. So I see that in you, and it makes me see how far you're going to go in this industry, love.
Yeah, thank you.
A couple questions. How did you enjoy, because your class had a retreat. We all came to Southern California together. How did you enjoy the retreat experience?
So I love the retreat. It was super nice to meet everyone in person, to be with everybody. That's actually like the first time I've been on a retreat. I've been on a yoga retreat before, but this is totally different, you know, like a retreat as part of a group mastermind and stuff like that. So it's really nice. I loved connecting with my sisters. I loved all the different, you know, vulnerable, tender moments that we shared. And it just felt really good to be able to spend a weekend just being in sisterhood and just being connected and chilling and doing all these fun things and being really seen and being put into situations that can be a little awkward, you know, right? But for me, it was like first time I've done a lot of those things. So I loved it. It was, it's challenging, but it's also freeing. It's like, oh, wow. So I
like
loved it.
eye gazing for several minutes at a
Yeah,
time.
that's what I was talking about. Like I get me up into a girl that I've like just met.
Hmm.
But it was challenging. I love it. I love, trying new things, and I loved it. It was super nice.
What did it feel like going through Creatrix Academy there was 14 of you in this class with
Yeah.
over a dozen other sisters? What did that feel like? Did you feel connected to the sisterhood of Academy?
Yeah, I loved the group. Um, it was like you had a bunch of sisters, and it was fun how like little by little I started with, super close to Alina because I stayed with her in San Diego, and Brittany and Aylin, and then little by little I started to connect with more, and it was just like, oh my God, we're so special. And to know that we're all sharing this unified like passion to help and to serve, and to know that we're like all business women too, and that we all can help each other and like stand in for each other and like inspire each other and get to know each other. It was beautiful. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it.
Do you think the connection with the women will outlast the group, the container?
Yeah, for sure. The connection will outlast the group for sure. Definitely. Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure.
Mm. Okay, I'm curious to know, like, what was that reason that you chose to invest in me, right? So if we go back to the moment where we're having a conversation, we have a plan. What was it that had you be like, oh, I'm gonna take the leap, even though this money is scary, I'm gonna say yes to this? Like, what did you feel was possible at that moment?
Yeah. Um, well, like I told you, you were the first business coach I had ever spoken to.
Mm-hmm.
You were also a referral, and I had also tasted a piece of your work in what was it, Creatrix Calling, and it was just, it was all that. It was the feminine energy, because my knowing of business is masculine, you know, like pushing, salesy, forcey, and that is totally against everything inside of me. So, and you had both. You're like a boss babe, and you're still like beautiful and soft and feminine and flowing. I'm like, I want that. That's what I want. That's it. Sold. Done. Um, Jolie, and besides all that, it was just timing. Like it was right. It was the timing. My soul was ready. I had been feeling this feeling of unfulfillment for like a couple months, and then you came, and the offer was, and I was like, Vanessa, like the universe was like, here you go. Here's your coach. Are you gonna let the money stand in your way of the gift I'm giving you right now? And I'm not one of those. I know when a gift is in front of me. So I did it.
I just love you so much. I'm just like in awe of you. I've been learning from you since the moment we started working together. And I just want you to know what a force you were for the whole class of inspiration. Because there were times where you were, in it, but I never really saw you disempowered. I never saw you throwing in the towel on yourself. And that's what it is. Like moments of disempowerment, we all go through that. It was a human journey. But I never saw you say, this isn't going to happen for me. What's wrong with me? Like you didn't turn it into self-judgment. And that reminds me of me on my first launch. Like there was no way I was going to turn on myself because I know the game is over once that happens. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not, and I try to explain this to women. It's like, I just had a one-on-one client the other day and she's just like, oh, but do you think people will pay that? And like, do you think this? And like all these concerns about what's outside of herself. And I'm like, I'm telling you this right now. The market is strong. We're in one of the strongest economies in the whole world. We have massive privilege on our side. Your
Yeah.
soul is calling you as a light worker. And the only thing that will ever stop you is not the market, not someone else, not coronavirus. It's what you believe up here.
Yep.
And that's the secret hack to life. We all
That's
know
it.
it. We all heard it said a million times, but at the end of the day, that's what it all comes back to, is the story that you're telling yourself will make or break you.
Yeah, that's it, Jolie. And that's exactly why even when times got tough, you're right. I was never disempowered. I was having a hard day, a rough day. I wanted to cry and lose my shit, but I always knew that I could do this. That was one thing that I never doubted, because I know the belief, and I've said this on our group calls, the belief is key. That's the soul work. You either believe or you don't. I believe. That's why I have all this. That's why I'm attracting. That's why I feel empowered, because I believe. I know who I am. I know where I come from. That's what powers my belief. So you have that, you're done. You're good. You're Gucci, man. It's like, let's make this paper. There's nothing else.
Let's make this paper, babe. I
Girl.
love it.
Oof, I
I'm
love the
here
paper.
for it.
I love the paper.
Unapologetically loving our money.
Yes.
So, knowing what you know now, having completed what you've done, would you say that Academy was worth the investment?
Fuck yes. Can I curse? Because I just cursed, but fuck yes. Fuck yes. Fuck yes. Yes, Academy was so worth it. Hell yeah. I always say this, and I say it to my mom, because she knew about this investment. And she's like, one of my people, she's my biggest supporter, my biggest fan. And there's days that we sit on the balcony, and I look back at these 4 or 5 months, and I look back to the the girl I was before this, you know, and I say sometimes to her, like, can you imagine if I had said no? Can you imagine? I can't imagine, and it runs very deep for me, Jolie, because that was an option. I could have said no. I could have let um disbelief take over. I could have let my fears take over. I could have let scarcity take over me, because I didn't have all that money in the bank. I didn't have it. I didn't have it. And I didn't know how the fuck I was going to get it, but it came. It came. It came because when you get out of the way, source will provide for you. And when you open to receive, source will provide for you. When you believe, source will provide for you. I can't imagine where I'd be if I hadn't done this, Jolie. Like, this was divine timing. This was in the stars for me, in the moon, in the sun, in my rising, in my falling, all of it. It was meant to be. Like, this had to happen. This was the greatest up leveling thus far in my life. Thus far, in 4 months, I'm a totally different person, totally transformed. I will never be the same.
It makes me cry. I felt the moment so much, honey, when you said I could have said no, because that's the human experience. We have free will. And in
Yeah.
any moment, there's like infinite possibilities that we can take, infinite possibilities. And seeing a woman say yes for herself, I remember when you said yes, honey, and I was like, oh my God. I remember I was like, y'all, all y'all ladies bring me to my knees, but I'm just like, as I feel the portal that you're opening. I feel the creation, the dimension that you're opening, the free will path that you're opening when you say yes, because
Yeah.
this is a development path like no other. And I know what it's done for me in my life. There's no other way to say it than this type of work is life changing. You learn your sovereignty. You learn to step in your power. You learn how to make $30,000. Her next launch, over $75,000 is her goal. And like everything in me knows that I will be witnessing this woman crush a $75,000 launch, because that's what she's committed to.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you would have told me 4 years ago that I'd be having multiple 6-figure launches, I'd be like, who is that woman that believes in herself? Like, of course the market can do that. Like, I see other people do that, but like, who is that version of Jolie that would actually be able to hold herself at that level and receive at that level and like stand for people at that level? And that is something that didn't just happen to me. I didn't wake up. You didn't wake up one day and have a 30K launch come to you. You
No.
put in your heart and your effort and your soul, and you co-created it with the universe. And like, look at the life path that you have for you now. It's just, it's beautiful. My whole fancy is tickled by you, Vanessa.
I like to tickle people.
So what would you say to the woman who's watching this that just feels scared? She's wondering if she can believe in herself. She's wondering if this is going to be the program that's going to make the difference for her. What would you say to that woman who's considering joining Creatrix Academy?
Okay, I want to talk to that woman, this woman sitting in front of me that is thinking, considering, feeling it bubble in her soul about joining Jolie and the PQ team with Creatrix Academy. I would say it was the best decision of my life. And like I said earlier, it was the biggest transformation of my life. It took blood, sweat, tears, heart, hope, belief, deep, deep, deep belief in myself. And I will never be the same. I will never be the same. And if you're ready, like I was ready, because I was ready to be upgraded. I was ready for a new paradigm. I knew that my soul was meant for so much more. If you're feeling like something needs to change, that you're unfulfilled in some way in your business, that you know you were meant for more, this is the program for you. There's no doubt, because Jolie keeps it business savvy, but there's a feminine flow and grace to it where it's magic. It's magic, because when you have those two energies, you create that divine marriage and that divine union. And when you activate that energy inside you, girlfriend, source is like, yes, she has remembered who she is. Let's move her. Let's support her. Let's help her the whole way through. So it's a fuck yes in me. It has to be a fuck yes in you. The fears are normal. It's okay to be scared, but don't let that stop you. Don't let the fear stop you. And I will share my affirmation that came from my heart and soul when I was sitting in your seat, and it was, you can do this. So I'm here to tell you, you can do this.
I'm like on the verge of having I'm gonna have to like purge a whole happy celebratory cry after this. Honey, thank you so much. I
You're
am
welcome.
so extraordinarily proud of you. You've just done immense, incredible work, and just, I don't know, I'm speechless. You're so beautiful. And I see the ripple impact of you standing for yourself, and how many women you're going to be standing for, and people in your life that will be affected by you. That's the ripple impact of the light worker. She becomes empowered. She stands for herself, and then she's a massive influence to everyone else in her life. Any final words, Vanessa? Did you say everything you wanted to say?
Yeah, I think I said everything.
Okay, honey. Thank you so much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you for witnessing Vanessa's journey and her story. It's an honor to have witnessed you, Vanessa. Thank you so much.
Thank you.